Good evening and welcome to the Town of Proctor's Select Board meeting on this snowy January 26th. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The first order of business is to review and approve the agenda. And if we could just add under new business, MRP application for our yard.
Move to approve as amended.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. A motion will be in order for the January 12th meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in
Didn't you mention that Sandor had been on the fire department for 65 years?
No,
50
my
years.
primary was just John.
Yeah.
And I just made the
Yeah.
statement that Sander was on for 55 between the two of them. But yes, the primary was just John Burns, reached
Yeah.
his 50-year milestone. That was accurate.
Sure.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. There's no one here for open public comment. And any good stuff? I'd say the good stuff is that the streets are plowed nice and wide.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job with
Yeah, we have limited salt, so we're,
But that's almost to our advantage. I think I almost like driving on this better than
yeah, I
this,
know, to some, and once it gets really cold anyway, a lot of salt
Salt
doesn't
doesn't
do
work
any good,
anyway,
so,
so.
but we do have some, they're trying to ration it out, and then hopefully we'll get some in a couple weeks. And the state's also offering, us to go up to V-Trans garage and we can get some salt from them, so.
Okay. I mean, I could find coming down the hill and coming around the curve. Those are the two concerning places.
They put a lot of hours in this
Yeah.
weekend. And not only that, I mean, on top of that, they still, they have to do water testings and sewer
Sure.
every day. So it's been a lot on them.
All right, the orders, warrants went around, everybody signed those, so we'll move to Tyler Technologies reappraisal progress report.
So they just wanted to send this along to us just to kind of update us on everything. And the only thing I saw in the progress report, they put December 2026, which hasn't come yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that too. So do we still think that it's going to be, I mean, they don't see it in here, but that it'll be lodged before July 1st?
No, not in this, they don't. They just talk about where they're at. and-
Yeah. But I mean, right now, they have all the information that's brought in-house, right?
Correct, yep.
So they're preparing that for what? To get ready to send out, so, and then the next step is grievance.
Yep. Lisa, did you want to chime in on that?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Sorry about that. Yeah, I can answer any questions you might have if you can hear me, okay? They have completed attempts at exterior inspections and interior inspections by appointments. They're in the review process. I'm at the point of scheduling with them times to review. And our goal with Proctor is to get the grievances done a little earlier, because Proctor is one of those towns that sends out their tax bills in second week of July. So I usually have to prioritize Proctor and West Rutland, because we're both in that same boat where we have a tax installment in the second week of August, so the tax bills have to be backed out from there a month ahead. So we're looking at doing grievances a little earlier than usual, not so early that we won't have all of the work in and all of the exemptions and all from the state, but that's our goal, to get grievances done actually in late May or very early June.
And so does that allow us time to have the grand list lodged then by July 1st? And if it is, and our CLA has changed, how does that work at the state level? Does that July 1 automatically change our CLA, or do we have to drag that for the 3 years before it goes up?
The calculation for the CLA in a reappraisal year is slightly different. And I don't know, Lisa, if you're kind of segueing ahead to the letter that we want to send to the state for recalculation or redetermination of the CLA regarding the utilities. So the utilities are equalized somewhat differently in any.
Well, I'm not really on utilities yet. I'm more concerned about residential and how that CLA is impacting tax rates. So I'm curious, in this year, when we go through reappraisal and it's lodged, does that automatically improve our CLA at the state, or does that year, you said it's a little different, so what does that mean?
Yes, it will improve your CLA. So it's calculated a little bit differently, where we don't have time to do a full sales study and do it in a reappraisal year. So this is what the state does for any town in a reappraisal year. They divide the equalized value of the value it should be up from your CLA by the actual value of the total grand list to determine a CLA. So it's a little different math for that calculation. The goal with the reappraisal is to be within 5%, one way or the other, of 100% of fair market value. So our goal is to have a 95 to 105 CLA. 105, can make, the PR of that is kind of negative. So generally, we kind of shoot for just under 100. However, with the way that the utilities are equalized, you may have a CLA that's over 100 because of that. And that is favorable for your tax rate and doesn't really impact other properties in town, all other properties with the exception of Green Mountain Power, in this case in Proctor, being assessed at 100% of fair market value as of 4/1/2026.
Okay, so when the letters came out from the state, they said, what did they say? Our CLA is what, 69 or something like that?
Dropped to, I think you're at, and I do have it in front of me, bear with me for a minute, I think it was 61, but yours in Proctor dropped more precipitously than my other towns. And why am I not finding it in front of me right now?
60 something.
Yeah, you're down to 60.6% if you didn't do a reappraisal.
So as of July 1, if everything's lodged and everything's in, will the state recognize that our CLA is at, let's say, 98 to recalculate our tax rates?
That's correct, yes.
Awesome.
We will.
That's spectacular.
We do have to submit, submit completion of the reappraisal and all of that to them, but that does kick off the process to recalculate that. And they should do that in fairly short order in time for your treasurer to get out tax bills on a timely basis. All other things happening at the expected timelines.
Okay, that's like some of the best news I've heard in the past 2 days with the snow. So, because that is a huge impact, because that 60% hit our tax rate to be pretty substantial, just like it is in West Rutland and Pulteney as well. So, but that's good, that they will recognize that and then recalculate to, impact our tax rates. Good stuff. All right, sorry, I, took over that whole conversation. Anybody else have any other questions? Okay. Any questions about the handout from Tyler? Any concerns? Nope.
Only concern is, the 24%, but
Yeah,
that is what it is, so.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess maybe we have different feelings on what it means for interior inspections versus exterior, so, I mean, personally, I think that, what's the difference? Your house could be 3 bedrooms and 2 baths, and mine could be, it could have the Kramer levels. It really, interior is aesthetically individualized. I think it's more about the property, bringing property values up, right? The land value versus the last time we went through a reappraisal and seemingly those people thought cutting the land was appropriate, or not sure what part of the world they were from. I've never heard where, dirt usually doesn't lose its value, at least where I come from. And so I think things like that are important, but and I don't really think it's that strange. I mean, that people just don't want,
Yeah, no, I agree.
people
with
don't want you in their house,
But I'm just thinking if you wanted to look and use a piece of property as a comp,
Yeah.
and then you look at it and it's similar, number of rooms and the condition.
Yeah.
It may be dated, and on the report, when you get a lister's report,
Yeah.
assessor's report, and it say dated and average condition, when really it was gutted, the house was gutted.
Yeah.
It's like some of the houses on East Street that have been gutted.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the lister's card will show, because that's not driven by a building permit. If
Right.
they don't get into that house and look at it, they're
Yeah.
just gonna look at an old lister's card and say, oh, this is dated and less than
Yeah, but
average,
a lot of
but
those-
really, the reason it was sold at such a high price is because it was completely redone.
Yeah,
on
but
the
that
inside.
duplex, it's obvious from the outside.
Well, I
that-
hope so. That's
I mean,
that's the thing, I just hope that-
so,
yeah.
and if people
No.
are gonna grieve it, then you have to, really let people go back and let them go inside. That's part of the
Yes,
process.
the property that you're
Yeah.
grieving, yes.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to use a comp, to
Yeah.
come to grievance hearings, and you don't know if anybody's gone in, and chances are, 3 to 1 that it wasn't,
Yeah.
nobody had gone in the house to look
Yeah.
at it, so.
Let's just hope
Well,
it go up.
Hopefully we won't have any grievances.
Yeah, it's always interesting where the grievances come from. All right, so moving on to Lisa's other part, appeal of the CLA for the utilities. That was on your desk, and so Lisa, if you want to walk everybody through that.
So I get complicated with the math. Basically, we have benefited in our tax rate in prior years from the Green Mountain Power property, the hydro facility, which is assessed at a higher percentage of fair market value than it would be with the state's formula, which delivers a very low value. And those of you that maybe were involved with the appeals when this first came about, Green Mountain Power invested a tremendous amount in this, and they were, something on the order of $20 million, and they were claiming by the state's formula that it was only worth $6 million on those calculations. So the statute reads that the utility properties are calculated out, and this has been this way since PBR started advising on this, I don't know, more than a decade ago, probably closer to 20 years ago, where if a town assesses a utility property for less than what the state's utility inventory is listing, that's a negative impact on your CLA and on your tax rate. If, on the other hand, a town goes to the due diligence that Proctor did and hires a professional appraiser to determine full fair market value and then sees that process through, they're likely assessing at a higher percentage of fair market value. So even though the market has had tremendous changes, we have had a little bit of a cushion from that impact of the CLA changes because of that 10-year agreement with Green Mountain Power. And they simply made a math error at PV&R in this year and didn't perform that same calculation. So we got a 10% drop in our CLA this year. That's in large part due to that. Most of my other towns experienced 45% drop this year because things are stabilizing with the market. So it's that utility assessment that we need to get corrected as per the statute. So this is only going to benefit the town, and that utility will be, the CLA will be calculated separately for that, regardless of a reappraisal. So it will be to your benefit. So I ask you to please sign the letter so that we can meet the deadline to have PV&R take another look at it and assess it the way they did last year, which was very favorable to the town. The other thing is, God forbid, for some reason, we don't complete the reappraisal this year, that 60 CLA is really going to hit you hard. So we want to get that corrected to what it should be.
Questions? So we're basically grieving what PBR said. What if they don't agree with us? What's the next step? Say they say we didn't make this calculation.
I doubt that will happen.
Okay.
I would honestly have to research that. I've not seen that in any of my towns.
Okay.
I know that there have been cases where PBR has denied it. Up north, I remember a case, I think it was in Stowe, with timeshares and condos that the assessor was convinced had skewed the CLA, and I think that particular appeal was denied. But I think this is a simple calculation where the history is there from how they handled it in 2024. So I think it will be redetermined and will be very favorable to the town. The worst thing is they keep it as it is and they deny the request. They say our number was fine. So we're no further behind, but I think we have a pretty solid case to get it corrected to be calculated the same way it was last year.
Okay. So motion would be in order to authorize the select board to sign the letter.
Yeah, I think you could sign it just as chair.
Okay. Or to authorize the chair to sign.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. How long does it take before you hear back from that? Usually.
I think they have a 30-day window. It might say on the back of that letter. I have to look that up and get back to you. I would expect at least a month from that 45-day appeal period before we hear back from them.
Okay.
But I will be sure to follow up and thank you.
Thank
Alright.
you, Lisa, for jumping on.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
You too. Okay. What is that? Oh, I kind of forgot about this.
But what?
MuniciPay. What is it? Municipal pay?
Oh, yeah. For our credit card?
Yeah.
We just got an agreement, but the one I put in your packet, since I've talked to Celia, and Celia wants to include property taxes.
Oh, she does?
Yep.
Good.
Okay.
So I reached out to them. They changed it and added utilities and property taxes, so I have a clean copy of that.
And does that change the pricing in any
I don't believe so, no, it might just
Okay.
change, yeah, how we
So,
set it up.
so we're gonna be able to accept utilities
And property taxes.
and property taxes. And that'll be for July 1?
Yeah, I'm gonna reach back out to her once, I sign it, send it over and see how quickly they can get the,
Machine?
stuff, well, yeah, set up.
Okay.
Yep, and it's just, everything's gonna be online, so there's nothing else. So it's just a machine.
Okay.
So who has to sign it? Just Lisa? Or
No.
Just me,
Her.
yeah.
Because we put it, you gave it to Judy to oversee, so. All right, that's good news. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, you were gonna.
Well, just a quick question on, if they're paying a sum with a credit card and it says 3%, is it 3% of the sum they're paying?
Yeah, it's usually a 3% fee on there, and instead, we're not charging it to them, we're charging it to them instead of us paying for it.
Okay, so if somebody came in and paid their taxes, they're paying 3%
Because they're paying with a credit card.
because they're paying with a credit card?
Yeah, just like if you went this summer to Village Snack Bar.
Yeah.
And you didn't pay with cash, and you paid with a credit card.
Well, yeah, there's a difference between a $20 bill.
Well, right. But people have actually asked about paying with their credit cards because there's so many things you get points on.
Yeah.
So a lot of people use that for that. I mean, there could be another percentage on it if you're delinquent. So you'd pay the 3% with the credit card and then whatever the delinquency is. But we have had multiple people inquire, and particularly people that own property that don't live in Vermont or don't live near, that want to pay that way as opposed to paying by a check. So, and younger people, as my child will tell me, never had a checkbook in their lives. So, well, they can pay. Could they pay with their debit card, or is it just a credit card?
No, I think it's debit or credit.
Yeah. So if you could pay with your
And,
debit.
I mean, 3%'s not much when you're doing water and sewer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know if they had a 3% up to a certain amount.
No,
No,
I
it's
think
the flat rate.
that's the flat rate to pay with
It's a
it.
service fee, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the amount.
Yeah. And I think that's pretty common just about any place
Yeah, it
now
is.
that you go places to use. And I get it,
Yeah.
$28 versus $280, but
Right.
yeah. Albert?
Item 9 on that weird contract, in-person devices, company shall provide the following devices to merchant on the terms specified below. It doesn't list any devices, but we are going to get devices that will be in the office, or is this all going to be by phone?
It's just gonna be like, like when you go and you swipe your credit card,
So they're going to have a device here.
they'll give it, yeah, that,
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw it before. Remember when we
Yes,
got the
but
paperwork
when we-
before, it showed you what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 9, it doesn't list any devices. It says, shall provide the following devices, and it doesn't list any. Number 9 on sheet 1.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they were just saying, well, it's the in-person devices is what they're talking about.
Well, I think what it's saying is we're getting one, right?
We got one.
Okay, it doesn't, yeah.
And that, if you want to buy another one, you can.
Yes, okay,
And
but
that
that's
the
what I wanted
device
to
has a
make
1-year
sure.
warranty. Those are what the bullet points are, because I thought originally it does, we talked about we just needed one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't list anything. That was my only question, is company shall provide the following devices. It doesn't list any, but I can remember we did have that discussion, and they were gonna give us one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I assume that applies here, even though
Yeah.
it doesn't say.
Yeah. I think they're just qualifying that you can buy another one if you want. And
If you want it,
Yeah.
yes, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions about that? All right. That's probably good should we have something out about this at town meeting too?
yeah,
That,
definitely.
some little, I don't know, I mean, not this, but a handout that says that starting on whatever date, are we
Yeah.
gonna just start July 1? Is that what we're gonna do?
I don't know, I'll have to talk to Celia and I'll have to see how quickly they can get this, but that would make sense.
Yeah, I mean, just to start a new year that way rather than, and just,
I don't think we need to write, I think if I do it in my manager's report and just say we're gonna be accepting credit cards for utilities and tax payments.
Oh, did you put that in your in the town report?
No, in my, like last year when I spoke, remember I
Oh,
spoke, did it that
gotcha,
way?
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
I
that's
think that
fine.
would be, I'd rather address it there.
That's fine,
So
I
people
just,
have
I
questions.
just think it should be like a bullet point.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, that's great.
Bless you. Thank you.
Okay, and then we need to sign the warning.
yes, we do. So the annual report has gone to the printers. It's all ready, actually. They're just waiting on this, because I sent them the page without signatures as a holding place. But I told them we need the signed copy to go in, so
Yeah,
I'll send it over tomorrow.
okay,
And we should have the proof back, I think, this Thursday.
okay. All right, while that circulates, we can move into the Board of Water Commissioners at 6:26. Motion, anybody?
So moved.
Yeah. All right, and do we have anything in water?
Nothing in water right now, no.
Okay. And we haven't had any water issues or anything
No,
with
we've-
the cold or?
No, I've had a couple sewer issues, but
Okay. All right, then a motion would be in order to move out of water and into sewer.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Okay.
yeah, so this last week, we had a couple of sewer backup issues. One was in a household, because of things being flushed down toilets. And it was a duplex, so being shared. The other one was up by Proctor Gas, which was on us. It was in the four-way there, and that, we've had issues there before. It just gets blocked up from coming in, so we just jetted it, and it's fine.
Was there a backup from it or?
It was just at Proctor Gas, they just couldn't flush. They
Okay,
just
but
kept
there
coming
wasn't
back.
any like the first one, did we have to fill out a report because there was damage in the house?
No. It's
Okay.
on them. That was on them.
Okay, and the second one we didn't either?
No.
Okay.
No. And then, as far as the wastewater treatment plant goes, he's compiling things to get ready for, the lagoons, and the construction down there. We, had to start, we were just running off one lagoon and we had to fill the other one to, because the other one was about to overflow. So we are operating off two lagoons. There's a lot of ice in one of them. We got the E. coli situation taken care of, so that was good. They worked hard on that.
Do we know what that was?
I think it was just E. coli coming in the lights, and for the lights, the motor wasn't strong enough, I think,
To kill it?
to kill it when it was
Okay.
going through the lights. The lights were working, but it wasn't strong enough.
So did we have to buy different lights?
Well, we bought a couple valves, and that's one thing. We've been buying other pieces. So Jeff Lewis is pushing the state to get approval quicker. He said the project has to start sooner rather than later because things are starting to deteriorate and starting to fall apart. And if we're purchasing things, it has to be part of that whole construction package because it's covered under that anyway, but we can't hold off till the construction. So,
Yeah.
so he's pushing on that. We're waiting for the state. I had to get a letter from the state, for the state from our attorneys last year who did the bond vote, because they needed a letter, showing we have sufficient funds to cover the bond. They never asked for it last year. So, and normally the attorneys don't issue it until the bond's been approved. So now they're working on issuing that for us because they won't release the funds till they have that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They like chase their tails up there. They need a management.
Yeah, they need a,
Like, this is step one, step
they need a
two.
logistic
They need a
chart.
whiteboard. Then you mark it off after you've gone over it. They're so like,
Yep. So that's it. So I will keep you guys updated on that.
okay. Alrighty. All right, motion would be in order at 6:30 to move out and into the select board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, sheriff's report. Everybody had that in their packet?
Yeah.
Any questions?
Just gotta watch yourself when you go by Loop Street.
He was out during the storm yesterday across the street from me. I was like, who's parked over at LaFont's? And I'm like, oh, that's the sheriff. There was a part in here, I didn't know if anybody would question it or not, about them going to the high school.
Yes, that.
Okay. I reached out to the sheriff to say, was that,
What page are we on?
page 1, 2, 3. Kevin Gino, January 14th,
The goggles.
vision goggle, driver education. So I said, was that on our clock, or was he just being kind to reiterate and give us a narrative of what he did? And he said, no, that was on them. They got a safety grant through the state, so that's covered under that. So he was just sharing the information with us. So I said, well, that's good.
Oh, yeah, they did that over in West Rutland too. So. Okay. Managers report.
All right, had an online meeting with FEMA on flood maps for Orange, Rutland, and Windsor counties. And they were sending updates and sending all the material. So if anybody cares to look at that, let me know and I can send it to you electronically, because some of it was pretty lengthy. Sent a logo and the flag design to Awesome Graphics, Tuttle, and Initial Ideas. So far I've gotten quotes. I just got one from Awesome today, and Initial Ideas I'm waiting for Tuttle. So
Okay.
and then the annual report, as I mentioned, was completed and sent to the printers on the 23rd. I sent the Mortimer Proctor application in on the 23rd also. Meeting with Linda McEwen tomorrow on a hiking trail for the school. She just kind of wanted to talk about objectives. I told her to reach out to you too, because I feel like it might go out of the boundaries and into the library property. So I don't know if she did.
No,
You're more than welcome to come over.
I really feel like hiking in the woods tomorrow.
No, she's coming here.
Oh, I was
I'm not going hiking.
Yeah. Is that like you gotta bring your own
Wear your
shovel and
snowshoes, yeah.
snowshoes? Okay.
I met with the forester on final markings. He stopped by last week. There's a portion of the property that is been questioned by one of the residents in, I'm gonna say Pittsford, Florence, who claims that the property was theirs. I've looked back on history, and this was back in 2016, 17. We had it surveyed, and maybe it was later, maps right there. And they were having it surveyed because they claimed it was theirs. We had it surveyed, so they stopped. The property boundaries show we own it. Pittsford apparently never got the deed showing that. The landowner said they never did, but it was in the minutes where the board did approve it, and the property is ours. But he's shying away from marking that right now just because he doesn't want to.
How much property is that?
It's like,
I mean, is it 30 acres or is it 3 acres?
it's a small portion.
Well, first of all, it's not our responsibility to notify a budding landowner. If they want the information, they go to their town office and get it.
Right, but what I'm saying is it's in Pittsford.
Right.
So Pittsford never got it, so they're questioning if
Or
Pittsford was
they-
taxing them instead of us all this time.
They never got it, or they never lodged, they never
They
recorded
claim they never
it.
got it.
Well,
So,
do we have anything to show that we?
well, that's what we're trying to dig out. I got minutes showing where it was approved and that property is, in fact, definitely Proctor, town of Proctor. But he was just marking up into that point where it's clearly marked the barrier, so he knows, and he's just for this time being, so he should have, that should all be done now, so hopefully in spring we can go and start cutting that too.
So how are we rectifying this? So, I mean, if Pittsburgh charged the other one instead of us, once again, that's not our issue, that's a Pittsburgh issue.
Unless Proctor never sent the documentation to show that it was in fact ours.
Well, how did it change? We didn't buy more property.
They just did a survey to determine what property was ours, whereas I think they thought it was theirs all this time.
So there had to be an original survey that said it someplace.
Well, this survey says it's ours.
Yeah, but there had to be one prior to that.
That was in
That's-
question, was questionable.
Oh, well, I mean, but still, that's Pittsburgh's job to rectify that. I mean, if they're concerned about taxes. So
Right.
why don't we just, are we just making a copy of that and sending that over to them to say,
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna reach out to them just to see if they recall getting anything. Because if nothing was sent, then they're not gonna know it was transferred unless we sent it, so. It's on us, not them.
well, it would be interesting to see what the deed said.
Right.
So,
I would think that would be a reflection of the deeds, and then it's Pittsburgh's problem.
But I don't know if it got beyond that. That's what I'm saying. No one knows if it got beyond that survey and that's it. It
yeah,
wasn't
but the
recorded
question is,
anywhere else.
if it's, let's say it's 266 acres, does the deed say it's 266 acres, our deed?
Right.
And so they can be questioning that we have 266, but if the original deed says that,
Right.
that's what it says, that's what we have. Sure, that just clarifies it, but, and I understand why the abutting landowner would stop just because we were doing a survey. That doesn't make any sense either.
Well, he just figured they were gonna come to a resolution. If we're doing it, why should he pay to have it done?
If I thought it was mine, I'd fight. That doesn't even make any sense to me, but, okay. So, all right, so we'll put that on to see where we stand for the next meeting, because if it's
Yes.
30 acres and we can mark it, then there's no reason we shouldn't mark it.
Yeah.
All those landmarks and markings came from a deed. They're not
Yeah.
just drawn out of the air.
Yeah.
It's recorded somewhere in the town office.
Right, exactly.
Or not.
There has to be a deed, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know, okay, we'll just put on another one, because what I'm saying is that was recorded for the maps, but nothing went further. So if it wasn't recorded in the deed book, then that's what's in question.
But there are property deeds, and the deeds tell you what the boundaries are.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
if there was a change in it and that wasn't recorded, then that's where the question is.
Okay, so we'll follow up with that at the next meeting. Okay, any old business?
Just one item. In
Yeah.
that Marble Valley Regional Transit District, had the proposed route reductions. And originally, there were 9 proposed. And then they went to the public hearings, and they also took, phone calls, anybody that had concerns. And they did listen, in that of those original 9, they modified 6 of them, the proposed reductions.
Yeah.
The original Proctor reduction was gonna go from 4 times a day to twice a day.
Right.
Yeah,
And then after the hearings and the public input, they decided, no, we're just gonna go to reduce it by 1. We're gonna have 3 daily trips coming into Proctor. Currently, they leave the transit center in Rutland at 8, 10, 12:30, and 4:30. On February 2nd, they're gonna leave the transit center at 8, 12, and 4:30. They eliminated the 10 and 12:30 and replaced it with 1 at 12 noon.
what did you say, changes February 2nd?
2nd, yes.
Okay. And, do they have new schedules to hand out? Are they printing those up, or is that
Well,
outside the budget?
Yes, once everything is finalized and blessed, then yes, there will be.
Okay, do you think we might have those, like, for town meeting, so if we need?
Well, yeah, that's in March. I can
Yeah.
certainly ask, yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, well, that's not awful.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I read your email.
Yeah. Okay,
The first one would have been, just 8:30 and 12:30.
Yeah.
Where
yeah,
are they gonna be?
yeah, that would have been a little rough.
Or
Yeah.
8 and 4:30, and then you're there all day.
Yeah. Either way, yeah, you really, okay. Anything else for old business? New business? New business, we have, MRP application for our yard. So it's basically the same, request, it's for fireworks and, asking for funds for concerts in the park. And the hope is, our yard's having meetings here, but, probably do fireworks again like we did last year in the fall, just because fireworks are gonna be high demand this year. For 250, so we can get them at a rate that we can, I mean, if they support this rather than, you know, some astronomical. So, and I think, yeah, it sounds like everyone's planning fireworks, so there'll be plenty of places to go see.
Yeah, and I'm sure the prices are just gonna go up too.
Yeah, and there were fewer complaints when everyone's in their house and the windows are closed and.
It was kinda nice having it then.
Yeah, I thought it was, a lot of people came, I thought.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
as many as the 4th.
Yeah, that's what I was surprised. How many
Rock
people
Wall
came and
Festival.
sat on the yard? I mean, I watched them from a vehicle and I thought they were nice, but I wasn't sitting in the chair.
Yeah, still, yeah.
So, all right, so, if there's no concerns, Judy will, submit that to Mortimer Proctor.
Yes,
So moved, yes, I'll make a motion that we go ahead and
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Anything else for new business? All right. Nothing else, then a motion will be in order at 6:41 to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.